Picket signs in Omaha today after an ICE agent shot and killed 37-year-old Renee Good in Minneapolis earlier this week. Thank you for joining us. I'm Zia Taher. Good's death garnered attention across the nation and right here in Nebraska. First Alert 6's Ron Johnson shows us how both local residents and state leaders are responding.
Shouts of anger from protesters and honks of support from drivers. Locals expressing outrage over Renee Good's death.
After Renee Nicole Good was murdered by ICE in the streets of Minnesota, we wanted to show up in solidarity.
Some signs calling for justice for Good. Others targeting ICE, wanting the enforcement agency dismantled.
We have to do what we can to tell people, no, we are not happy with the way things are going.
Right now, awareness is very high that ICE is a serious problem.
ICE activity has also drawn reaction at the state level. Nebraska State Senator Margot Juarez recently introduced legislation that, if passed, would keep immigration law from being enforced in areas she defines as community safe spaces, like churches and hospitals.
There's just so many safety issues that are happening with trying to enforce immigration. To keep our sanity, we need to create these safe spaces.
The bill has support from this crowd.
There should be safe places for law-abiding citizens to have their voices heard, to protest peacefully.
They say they don't want a repeat of what occurred this week. In Omaha, Ron Johnson, First Alert 6.
And keep in mind that Bill LB 907 just got introduced. It remains to be seen whether it'll make it far in the legislature, especially during a shorter session like the current one.